Walk into any Home Depot on a Saturday morning and you'll see the same thing. Guys loading up carts with orange branded everything, convinced they're getting contractor grade quality because the price tag says so. Here's what those same guys don't know. Home Depot's markup strategy is costing them thousands, while better tools sit gathering dust at places they'd never think to look. I've been testing tools professionally for over a decade, comparing the expensive Home Depot options against budget alternatives that often work just as well. What I found will make you rethink every tool purchase you've ever made. We're counting down 12 tools you should reconsider buying at Home Depot, plus 5 you absolutely need to grab before walking out. Some of these are going to shock you. Starting with number 12, those premium cordless drill kits everyone thinks they need. Don't get me wrong, top-tier brands make incredible tools, but Home Depot often charges a significant premium for drill driver combos that perform similarly to mid-range options from the same parent company sitting just a few aisles over. Many professional framers prefer keeping less expensive drills on job sites because losing a budget drill hurts way less than watching an expensive one disappear into someone's truck bed. The battery platforms are different, sure, but when you're paying substantially less, you can buy backup batteries and still come out ahead. Home Depot banks on brand loyalty, making you blind to basic math. I tested premium and mid-range drills side by side, drilling pocket holes through hardwood and driving long deck screws into pressure-treated lumber. The mid-range option kept pace without the battery dying or the motor overheating. Your wrist gets just as tired holding either one, but your wallet feels considerably better with the budget choice. Number 11 might make some people angry, but premium circular saw pricing at Home Depot deserves scrutiny. Some name brand cordless circular saws cost significantly more than comparable models from other manufacturers with similar specs and better ergonomics. I tested competing brands on a deck project last summer, cutting through hundreds of linear feet of pressure-treated lumber. The less expensive saw blade stayed sharp through the project, the motor ran cool, and my wrist didn't feel destroyed by the end of the day. Just because a brand used to manufacture domestically doesn't mean you're still getting that quality when production has moved overseas like most competitors. The familiar branding costs you extra money without necessarily delivering performance advantages. What really gets me is how Home Depot positions premium saws at eye level in the tool corral, right where you walk in feeling pumped about your weekend project. They know you'll grab the familiar color without checking if better options exist for less money. Here's number 10, and this one hurts because I used to buy these myself. Home Depot's house brand mechanic tool sets seem like a great deal at first glance. Large socket sets with lifetime warranties sound perfect, right? The problem is build quality. Some budget socket sets use inferior manufacturing processes that create tools more prone to rounding off under stress compared to better quality alternatives. I compared house brand sets directly against well-reviewed options from online retailers. The higher quality sockets showed better heat treatment, and the ratchet mechanisms had finer teeth for better access in tight spaces. A warranty is worthless when you're stuck on the side of the road with a rounded off socket and no way to remove your wheel. Smart mechanics know that brands like Tecton, Gear Wrench, and even some Harbor Freight premium lines offer better quality control for comparable or lower prices. The manufacturing quality on budget sockets often shows inconsistent tolerances that create weak points exactly where stress concentrates during use. Number 9 is going to surprise people because everyone loves a good shop vac. Home Depot pushes certain wet-dry vacuum brands hard, but here's what contractors have figured out. Comparable capacity shop vacuums from other big box stores often cost substantially less for similar motor power and capacity. I've used different brands on construction cleanup jobs where you're sucking up drywall dust, wood shavings, and debris. Performance was comparable while the price difference was significant. That's real money you could spend on other project needs. Home Depot counts on you not price shopping across stores. Filter life is comparable across brands. Hose lengths are similar, and most use standard attachments you can find anywhere. The only difference is often just the color of the plastic housing and which store gets your money. At number 8, we've got those laser levels everyone thinks they need for hanging pictures. Home Depot charges premium prices for name brand models that do the same basic job as budget alternatives available online. Both project horizontal and vertical lines, both self-level, both run on standard batteries. I've used budget laser levels for installing kitchen cabinets, building deck railings, and framing walls. They've survived drops, impacts, and weather exposure while working reliably for years. Unless you're a professional surveyor who needs pinpoint accuracy over extreme distances, you're potentially wasting money on brand name recognition. The laser diodes come from similar suppliers, the leveling mechanisms use identical physics, and the battery compartments hold the same standard batteries. Home Depot markup on these gadgets is substantial because they know most buyers won't research alternatives before purchasing. Number 7 might make tool enthusiasts defensive, but router pricing deserves examination. Home Depot's premium router prices significantly exceed budget alternatives that deliver similar performance for common tasks. Variable speed control, standard bit acceptance, and adequate power for edge profiling and dado cuts are available across price points. I've routed cabinet doors with budget routers, and the results were indistinguishable from premium options for typical woodworking applications. Some professionals admit they keep less expensive routers for job sites and save premium tools for shop use where theft and damage are less likely. Home Depot markup on router bits is even more extreme, sometimes several times higher than online prices. Motor bearings across price points often have similar ratings, and Kale mechanisms grip bits with comparable force. Speed control precision differences are minimal for most practical applications like cutting decorative edges or rabbets. Here's number 6, and this is where Home Depot really shows their pricing strategy. Pneumatic finish nailers from certain brands cost more at Home Depot than at specialty tool retailers for identical model numbers. Same specs, same warranty documentation, just different retail pricing. The difference represents pure markup because Home Depot knows many weekend warriors won't price check air tools across multiple stores. I've used the same nailer models purchased from different retailers installing baseboards, crown molding, and door casings. They perform identically because they're literally the same tool with different price tags depending on where you buy them. The firing mechanisms work the same way. Depth adjustments function identically, and magazine capacities are equal. You're paying extra purely for the convenience of buying it at the orange store instead of driving to a specialty retailer. Number 5 is going to save you serious money on your next project. Home Depot charges premium prices for basic stud finders that simply beep when crossing wall joists. Meanwhile, more advanced stud finding technology is available online for less money using LED arrays to show you the exact width of studs, not just their location. I've installed dozens of TV mounts and heavy shelving using these enhanced models. Finding studs accurately and quickly means finishing jobs faster with fewer mistakes. Home Depot keeps premium brands at eye level, while newer technology often exists elsewhere for better value. Advanced stud finders eliminate the guessing game where you're not sure if you found the stud edge or just a random fastener in the drywall. LED array displays light up across the entire stud width so you know exactly where to drill without trial and error. At number 4, those extension cords everyone grabs without thinking twice. Home Depot prices on contractor-grade extension cords are significantly higher than identical wire gauge and length cords available at other retailers. The same copper conductors and voltage ratings cost less elsewhere. I've run table saws, miter saws, and air compressors on cords from different retailers. Electrons don't care about the brand name on the jacket. Physics works the same whether you paid premium or saved money for other project needs. Insulation thickness meets identical safety standards across brands. Plug molding is similarly robust, and all cords coil up the same way when you're done. Home Depot counts on people assuming the store brand must be better because it costs more, but copper wire is copper wire, regardless of whose logo gets stamped on the packaging. Number 3 is where Home Depot's strategy really becomes obvious. Their house brand tape measures cost more than quality alternatives from other manufacturers with superior features. Budget tape measure brands often include better belt clips, smoother blade retraction, and clearer markings for less money. I've gone through many tape measures over the years because they get dropped, stepped on, and generally abused on job sites. Buying better value options means replacing them doesn't create budget pain. Professional Professional contractors buy certain budget brands in bulk because the savings add up when equipping entire crews. Blade coatings resist wear similarly across price points, spring tensions feel comparable, and standout distances are adequate for real-world use across brands. You're paying extra for brand recognition that many professionals stopped prioritizing long ago. Number 2 might shock people because everyone trusts premium battery brands. Home Depot charges substantial premiums for name brand batteries compared to alternatives that deliver similar capacity and runtime. Budget battery options from other retailers have been tested by users and often match premium performance closely enough that the price difference becomes hard to justify. Switching to value battery options can save hundreds of dollars when building a complete cordless tool system. They fit their respective tools properly, hold charges comparably, and when one eventually fails, replacing it doesn't require a major investment. The lithium cells inside batteries across price points often come from major manufacturers. They use similar battery management systems to prevent overheating, and they charge in comparable time frames. Premium branding allows some manufacturers to charge significantly more for functionally similar technology that most users will never push to absolute limits. And the number one tool you should reconsider buying at Home Depot comes down to hand planes. They stock modern hand planes that often need extensive tuning before they'll cut properly. Blades frequently arrive needing sharpening, adjustment mechanisms can be imprecise, and sole flatness is sometimes inconsistent from the factory. Meanwhile, vintage hand planes from mid-century production sell on secondary markets for comparable or lower prices in better condition than many modern options. Sometime with sharpening supplies gives you a tool built to last generations. I've bought several vintage planes over the years, and they consistently cut smoother than many modern mass-produced alternatives. Real woodworkers know that older production often emphasized different quality standards. Those earlier planes often used better materials, had tighter machining tolerances, and were assembled with more attention to what sharp cutting edges require. Modern production sometimes prioritizes speed and cost reduction, which affects performance immediately when you try smoothing wood surfaces. But here's the flip side. 5 tools you absolutely should buy at Home Depot because they genuinely offer excellent value. First up, their house brand moving blankets are legitimately competitive pricing. Professional movers buy these in quantity because they're thick enough to protect furniture, affordable enough to not worry about losing them, and available everywhere. I keep many in my truck for wrapping lumber, protecting cargo, and emergency trunk protection when hauling messy materials. The quilted construction absorbs impact well compared to thin alternatives other stores sell for higher prices, and the binding around edges holds up to repeated use and washing without deteriorating. Second, Home Depot's house brand garden soil offers good value compared to many nursery and garden center prices. I've used it for raised bed gardens, potting applications, and filling low spots in yards. The texture is reasonably consistent. It drains adequately, and plants grow successfully in it, unlike some heavily composted alternative. The nutrient content works for general use, pH stays relatively neutral, and it doesn't compact excessively after rain, like some cheaper topsoil options. Every spring, I purchase many bags, and my vegetable garden produces well with this soil as the growing medium. Third, those orange utility buckets are genuinely durable workhorses that contractors buy regularly. I've mixed concrete, hauled tools, stored fasteners, and even used them as seats on job sites. They stack efficiently, handles are robust, and when one finally fails after years of hard use, replacing it is inexpensive. The plastic is thick enough to resist cracking in cold weather. Capacity markings are reasonably accurate for mixing ratios, and the wide mouth makes filling and emptying convenient. I've seen these buckets survive significant abuse, including falls from height, vehicle traffic, and extended outdoor exposure. They're remarkably durable for the price point. Fourth, Home Depot's house brand primer offers competitive value compared to name brand options. I've primed room additions, covered stains, and sealed fresh drywall with it. Coverage is good. It sands reasonably smooth, and top coats adhere properly. Many painters find house brand primers work adequately for typical applications. The hiding power on stains is comparable to premium brands. Dry time is similar, and odor levels are no worse than name brand alternatives. I've stopped paying premiums for branded primers because house brands deliver acceptable results for substantially less money. Fifth, and finally, Finally, their basic utility knives represent exactly what most users need. The blade locks securely, handles are comfortable, and when you lose one on a job site, replacement cost is minimal. I go through utility knives regularly because they're consumable tools in construction environments. Buying affordable ones makes practical sense. Retractable blade mechanisms work smoothly. Onboard blade storage holds spares conveniently, and metal construction stands up to job site abuse better than cheaper plastic alternatives. These knives cut drywall, trim carpet, open boxes, and score caulk lines just as effectively as knives costing several times more. Here's the bottom line that Home Depot doesn't advertise. Their business model benefits from brand loyalty overriding price comparison. They've convinced generations of DIYers that premium brands are always worth higher prices when the reality is more nuanced. Smart shoppers compare prices across retailers, buy value options when appropriate, and save money for tools where quality differences actually matter. Budget drills often work comparably to premium versions for typical home projects because manufacturing has improved across price points. Your projects care about getting done properly, not about brand recognition. Stop overpaying for marketing and start building with tools that deliver actual value for your specific needs. That's how professionals stay profitable and how smart homeowners finish projects under budget. Now you know which tools deserve scrutiny and which ones offer genuine value. The next time you walk through those automatic doors with a project list in hand, remember that the best tool isn't always the most expensive one. It's the one that does the job effectively without unnecessarily emptying your wallet. Smart buying means finishing more projects with the same budget, and that's what separates people who talk about building from the ones who actually build.